Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cocktail Vlog. I'm Steve the bartender, and today I'm judging week 8 of the Coffee Cocktail Challenge. Which is the final week, and originally I was going to be flying to Sydney and catching up with the Mr. Black team. We're going to sit down as a judging panel, run through all 8 cocktails, actually 9 cocktails, because one week there was a draw. We're going to sit down and judge all the cocktails together as a group, but unfortunately the borders are locked, so I can't travel over there. So we're going to still do it, but we will judge the grand final online. So, had some more excellent submissions this week. It's been, especially the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of website traffic, and there's been a lot of submissions, a lot of voting, which is great to see, to finish out the cocktail competition. Nathan R, for the first cocktail, the Big Black Barrel, it's actually his 3rd time he's been in the finals, so congratulations. He also won week 3 with the Mr. Swizzle. Nathan tends to lean towards more tiki style cocktails, more rum cocktails, and he's a member of the Steve the Bartender Facebook crew, so make sure you head there and check it out and see some more of his cocktails that he submits, because they're all fantastic. Nathan describes the Big Black Barrel as, today's cocktail is a big dark tiki rum barrel riff. I find myself really enjoying the complexity that can be added to a tiki drink by using bitter and herbal flavors. Some of my favorite neo-tiki drinks are ones that utilize amaro and other non-traditional elements. The interplay here between the molasses, the juices, and the bitter element of the coffee, liqueur, and fernet creates a bold, layered adventure. So again, I'm excited to get into this cocktail because I think Nathan knows the kind of flavors that I enjoy as well. I like tiki, I like rum, I like fernet, and of course I love Mr. Black. But he's also utilized a molasses syrup. So before I get started, this particular syrup is a ratio of 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, 2 ounces of mild molasses. I don't really have anything to compare the molasses that I have. I don't know if it's a full, bold, strong molasses or a mild molasses, but once it's made into this syrup, it does taste fairly mild, so I think it will go well and it will complement these other ingredients. Let's get onto the cocktail. So first of all, we're measuring out 1.5 ounces, 45 ml of a dark overproof rum. I'm using Plantation, which is what Nathan called for. Thanks, Trevor. Then we have Mr. Black cold brew coffee liqueur, 30 ml, 1 ounce. So intensity of the rum, that bitter, rich coffee note from the coffee liqueur, and the basicness and the kind of minty note from the fernet is going to work really well with that molasses. And we've got 7.5 quarter ounce of Fernet Branca, fernet, however you pronounce it. 15 ml, half an ounce of the next 3 ingredients. So we've got orange juice first up, lemon juice, all freshly squeezed, including the orange, and lime juice. And the second to last ingredient is the molasses syrup, I should say, which is 30 ml, 1 ounce, followed by 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. And this drink calls for whip shaking or flash blending. So we start by adding some crushed ice into the shaker tin or blender tin. I chose to flash blend because I like the aeration and the texture that adds to the drink, as well as the fact that this was collecting dust and it was expensive. So it's about time I used it again. Give it a couple of short bursts. It's incredibly quick to add heaps of aeration and adequate dilution, especially when using crushed ice. Dump it straight in. And I'll let that foam settle a little bit before I top it up with more crushed ice. And for garnish, I'm slicing up a piece of orange, slicing up a wheel, slight cut there, and then giving it a little bit of a twist like so. You could also use a cocktail pick if you like. Nathan also called for pineapple fronds for a garnish, but unfortunately I went to a couple of shops and they seem to be in the habit, especially the large shops, of cutting off the heads to save space and therefore shipping. So there we have the big black barrel. Cheers. That's intense. That's a real deep, dark, rich. Molasses is obviously the the core ingredient that you make rum with. So naturally, it's going to go really well with it. It does have quite an intense bit of flavour, but making a syrup out of it is a smart way to incorporate that flavour into the drink without overtaking it. On to cocktail number 2, the Minty Mr Black Mocha by Tipsy with Tyreek. He shares some amazing photos on Instagram and he's just started his YouTube channel. So I'll leave a link in the description below to both those. You can go check him out. Give him a sub on YouTube if you please. He describes this as the Minty Mocha gets its deep coffee foundation purely from the Mr Black cold brew coffee liqueur and has highlights of flavors from other ingredients, all blending beautifully with one another. The mint mocha is very coffee forward on the nose, then boosted with chocolate and ends with minty freshness, further enhanced by the mint sprig for garnish. The description is quite long. I've got a bit over a page here, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'll link, as always, I'll link to the recipe in the description below so you can have a read. It's well worth having a look. And you can also check out all these recipes, compare them, remake them, and then slide into my DMs and let me know what you think of these cocktails and if your tastes align with mine, and if you think my judging was correct or not. So we're going to start off with Mr Black and measure up 45 ml, 1.5 ounces. Oh, damn. Then we've got a bourbon whiskey. Tyreek has specifically called for American Eagle for you. So 22.5 ml, 3/4 ounce. I'm yet to try this one actually. Then we have a chocolate liqueur, your preferred chocolate liqueur, 15 ml, half an ounce. Add that straight into the shaker. Follow that with creme de menthe. So just a touch of mintiness. 7.5 ml, 1/4 ounce. And thanks to the people of Patreon, I've added a couple of extra bottles of bitters to my bitters collection. Latest being Scrappy's Bitters, the chocolate. This stuff is amazing, it's delicious. So he said 2 drops. 2 dashes or 2 drops? He said 2 drops. 2 drops. Then we have 60 ml, 2 ounces of cream. I was going to be able to balance it. There we go. It's totally going to fall in. It's totally going to fall in. Then we add ice to the cocktail shaker and give it a shake for 10 to 15 seconds. So Tyreek's cocktail first caught my attention because of the stunning photo that he's taken, and it's quite unique garnish, I guess. It was basically like this is right here with a melted chocolate along the side of the glass with coffee beans pressed into it. I've managed to get chocolate all over my hands, chocolate all over the glass, but his looked photo perfect. So as you would have seen just up here. This one is double strained over fresh ice. A very subtle green kind of hue to it. Finish the garnish with a mint sprig. That's the only problem with the chocolate garnish. It looks amazing, but you end up grabbing it every time you reach for a drink. But it looks amazing in the photo. So there you have the what do I call it? The Minty Mr. Black Mocha. Cheers, Tyreek. Oh man, that is intense, really rich chocolate flavors, accompanied by that that bold coffeeness. Coffeeness? Is coffeeness a word? It is now. Heaps of chocolate. The mintiness is quite subtle, but you do get the aromatics from the fresh mint on the top. I like it. On to cocktail number 3. The Thyme Is What We Want Most by Stacey Wallace. So Stacey is also a second-time finalist. She describes this cocktail as unusual, tasty, strong, bright, and fruity. Inspired by the Clover Club, this classic cocktail gets a spicy new twist. The fresh coffee bean aroma and hints of dark chocolate and cherry flavor of Mr. Black cold brew coffee liqueur combined with a robust and higher proof Wild Turkey 101, this one, shine in this pre-prohibition inspired cocktail. It is a new cocktail that embodies the gentle spirit and hearty culture of the people who enjoyed the Clover Club back in the 19th century with the grit and sassiness of Philly today. That's not the whole description. You'll have to check out the whole description in the link below. It's another long one. So again, straight onto the cocktail. We're measuring out 52.5 ml of Mr. Black, which is 1.75 ounces. Into the shaker it goes. Then Turkey 101, 100 proof, or 101 proof, 30 ml, 1 ounce. Then next, very interesting ingredient, we have a raspberry and thyme beer reduction. The beer itself was an English ale, English mild ale specifically. So you can find the recipe in the link. 22.5 ml. Oh, that's thick. 3/4 ounce. Yum. And 15 ml of fresh lemon juice. That's a little bit short actually. 1/2 ounce. And egg white. Then we give it a dry shake for 10 seconds and a vigorous wet shake for 5. Just need a fine strainer. And this one is double strained. Has a reasonably large volume, so if you use it in a coupe, you'll need a large size coupe. I think this one is 250 ml, 8.5 ounces maybe. And for garnish, 3 sprigs of thyme neatly rested on the edge of the glass. And a dash of cayenne pepper. Bit more. Stacey said 5 dashes. Sure. There you have Thyme Is What We Want Most by Stacey Wallace. Cheers. It's kind of a strange aromatic composition of thyme, coffee, and chili. There's a bit of a clash of flavors in this one, and it is very, very deceptive because of the texture and the color of the drink. You kind of think it's going to be creamy, but it's citrusy, and it's got that tartness from the raspberry. And then that chili is coming through now. Time to judge. Yeah, but you have classic flavors that work together for a reason. You can make a super creative, super original cocktail. Sort of. They're both classic flavor profiles that work nicely together. On to my final thoughts of the week 8 of the Coffee Cocktail Challenge. Nathan's Big Black Barrel, I like the combination of flavors. They work really well. The rum, molasses, coffee. I think it very heavily relies on the type of molasses you use. So it can easily take over and be quite predominant. The molasses kind of overshadowed the coffee note, the flavor in this, and even the fernet as well. But once it diluted, it kind of softened that molasses and let the other flavors come through and shine a little bit more. The Minty Mocha, 100% definitely highlighted the coffee, chocolate, mint, those 3 flavors. That's another thing actually. They're well-known flavor combinations. Coffee, mint, and chocolate, they work well together. Molasses, rum, coffee, they work well together. With the third cocktail, I think there was a few clashing flavors because I know that, like raspberry and chocolate work together, chocolate and chili work together, raspberry and chili work together. But then the addition of the thyme and all the flavors didn't work harmoniously, like with the addition of the lemon juice and the egg white. Individually, the pairs, those flavors work well. But when all put together, I think there was a little bit too much going on in this cocktail. But had me intrigued. It was creative, and it was probably the most original. I felt that these two on the left, they followed a bit of a template, like a tiki template with the addition of a bitter or a herbal liqueur. And then kind of like, this is a cross between a Grasshopper and an Alexander. So I think that's also why these cocktails work, is because they've worked with templates, or they've worked with well-known classics and then tweaked them from there and made them their own. But as far as originality went, or creativity, this was just out of the box. But as far as the winner went, I would have to say the one that actually highlighted the coffee the most would be the Minty Mocha. Well, technically that's not actually its name, I'm sorry. Minty Mr. Black Mocha by Tipsy with Tyreek. Congratulations. As always, I'll leave a link to the final scorecard so you can compare the different scores, because it was actually quite close. Whilst I thought there was a clash of flavors in here, it gained more points because of the originality and the presentation as well. There's a lot of chili in that, by the way. It lingers. But congratulations, guys. Thanks for entering. Thanks for everyone who entered. Make sure you stay tuned for the grand finals of the Coffee Cocktail Challenge to find out who wins the extra cash prize, as well as the coffee machine. And Tipsy with Tyreek, congratulations. I completely forgot that I increased the Amazon gift card from $100 to $500 for the final week. So, woo! Congratulations. I'll see you guys soon for another cocktail video. Stay tuned for the grand finals. I've got nothing left for this one. Cheers.